your home for the most local news. News 10 ABC in the morning starts now.
Good morning, everyone, on this Wednesday. I'm Christina Arantio.
And I'm Ryan Peterson. Here's a look at the stories we're following for you this morning.
I've just been clawing through the mud, and it's hard to hold hope when the mud is so deep.
Family members desperately searching for loved ones. Look at these pictures after the deadly mudslides in Southern California. We will have the latest update from the Alert Desk with Nicole.
She was able to squeeze my hand, and that was the last response I got from her.
Local mom losing her daughter because of the flu virus. A message she has for parents.
And how Apple is now responding about investors calling the iPhone toxic for children. Parents always so concerned about the effect this has on them, and you hear that word toxic, boy, and it definitely sends off alarm bells. So we'll talk about that, all those stories coming up. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 23. And also we're going to be talking about travel nightmares.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember this scene?
Oh,
look closely. Do you see two feet there?
bare feet.
Yeah, that's a JetBlue flight. Person, you know, just putting their feet right up there on the armrest.
Yeah, why not?
Obvious no-no. We have other flight do's and don'ts.
Clearly
Etiquette.
not that obvious for this person, though, right?
No.
Oh, my.
Not a care in the world.
No.
What else are we talking about today?
The temperature in your office. So if you have trouble concentrating at work, you may want to turn the heat up. Even though a lot of people wouldn't agree with that. How the temperature can impact your productivity. We want to know if you think that's real or maybe just a little.
Yeah, because those temperature wars aren't just at home.
No,
with your significant other. No, it's a big deal in the office.
Drastic changes in temperature no matter where you are in your building.
In this office, yes.
In the studio.
That sounds very familiar right here.
Problem here in the studio, too. We can relate.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of temperature,
Yeah.
it's cold now, but it's going to warm up.
Oh, it will, yeah. So temperatures into the teens this morning, down to near zero in some areas, actually. So we're pretty cold, but temperatures above freezing this afternoon. Here's the bus stop forecast, 7 to 8 a.m., 12 to 20, and then 30 to 36 by 3 to 4 p.m. Now, the clouds will increase later on today, but we'll see a decent amount of sun through the daylight hours, especially this morning. Here's a look at the Stewart Shop Storm Tracker weather cam, the view from Stuyvesant Plaza. It's been a while since we've seen clear skies in the morning, and so this is a welcome sight. It's beautiful as the sunrise is about 25 minutes away. Right now in Albany, we're sitting at 12 degrees. The wind is calm this morning, so no blustery conditions to contend with as you step outside the door. 9 right now in Saratoga. We're at 2 this morning. It's really cold there towards the northern Berkshires. 14 in Pittsfield, 14 right now in Hudson. Satellite and radar, high pressure in control, giving us the clear skies, light winds, but we will see a weak disturbance pass on by tonight, and that may give us a chance for some light freezing rain. Also, temperatures go up over the next couple of days. I'll tell you exactly how warm, and also the rain that'll come on in for Friday. All the details in full weather. Christina?
Thank you, Greg. See you soon. New details this morning about the PFOA contamination. According to a number of published documents, trustees with the village of Hoosick Falls passing a resolution agreeing to move ahead with 2 lawsuits.
And that vote happening last night. News 10 ABC's Samantha Damasio has been working this morning to learn some more. She joins us live now from Hoosick Falls with the latest. Sam.
That's right. Good morning. And Mayor Rob Allen just confirming with me that the trustees, in fact, passed a resolution that would authorize the village law firm to go ahead and sue both companies if they cannot, in fact, reach some sort of settlement agreement. Now, the mayor says they are continuously trying to work toward the settlement, but that the discussions, quote unquote, have been disappointing and at times frustrating. The 2 companies, of course, are being held responsible for the PFOA contamination in the public water supply and many private wells. The main conflict appears to be future litigation. The companies say if they were to settle, the village cannot sue them in the future for any PFOA-related issues. But the people of Hoosick Falls say no way. They argue that right now they do not know the full extent of the impact health-wise, and they want to be able to take action if they are, in fact, diagnosed with something linked to the toxins at some point down the road. Now, the mayor also saying this morning that they also passed a resolution last night to sue their former environmental law firm. The group was terminated by the village after the new administration took over last year. He tells me they filed a notice of claim against the village saying that they were going to be suing them for the bills of the service they had already provided. So we will continue to follow up on this story and let you know what we learn. But for now, live in Hoosick Falls, Samantha Damasio, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Sam. Let's get you up to speed on the top stories trending this morning.
Search and rescue missions happening right now in the same communities of Southern California that were devastated by those record wildfires this year. Nicole's got more at the alert desk on the mudslides and the rain now.
Yeah, much different problem out west. Staggering amounts of rain triggering deadly mudslides. So far, 13 people are confirmed dead. Dozens others are still missing. Rescuers are trudging through knee-high mud to try and find survivors. In Montecito, Robert Riskin and his friend wearing wetsuits and helmets looking for Robert's mother.
It's my mom, and I'm fighting with all my heart to find her, but like I can't focus too much on she's most likely dead out here. She's a grandmother. She's, one of my best friends, and just got to keep going, man.
She has not been found yet. Robert breaking down during the search, taking pictures and collecting items from her home. Authorities are still trying to reach new areas and dig into the destruction. The fast-moving mud with the consistency of wet concrete destroying everything in its path. Witnesses describing the scene in Santa Barbara County as apocalyptic. Reports of people holding onto trees for hours, others floating away on mattresses in a whirlpool of mud. And adding to the destruction, the 101 freeway is closed for a 30-mile stretch. That closure is expected to last at least 2 days, essentially leaving people trapped with few alternate routes.
Finally, a response days after an open letter calling for Apple to do something about screen addiction in kids. This was a story we talked about earlier this week already. Two of Apple's biggest investors asking for more parental controls, and that's exactly what Apple says it intends to do. You see, studies have shown that being attached to a phone, those smartphones at a young age, can have serious negative consequences, including lack of sleep, higher risk of depression and suicide. Two major investors also pointing out that devices, especially iPhones, make it difficult for students to stay focused in school. Now, Apple hasn't mentioned any specifics on what these new parental control features will be just yet, however. And we've been telling you about State Trooper Mike Anson this week. He died of cancer, a cancer he contracted while working as a first responder down at Ground Zero following the 9/11 attack. He wanted us to tell other first responders who were there on those days to seek medical attention, make sure their health is okay. Asthma and cancer are just a couple of the conditions the CDC reports first responders who were there at Ground Zero are plagued with today after breathing in all that dust and fumes from the debris.
We didn't know what was in the air down there. We didn't know what the debris contained.
Kevin Terry, part of a group from the Capital Region that headed to the city to help in the days following. Health problems have become a daily concern for him now. As of September of last year, more than 6,200 9/11 first responders have been diagnosed with cancer. More than 250 have since died. The World Trade Center Health Program aims to help. If you are a 9/11 first responder and are experiencing health issues, we have a link to the program on our website at news10.com.
Well, you see this map right here, and it shows just how serious this year's flu season is. Officials say it's still not at an epidemic level, but you see all but just 3 states here seeing widespread flu activity. If that isn't enough of a concern, one local mom says you really need to listen to her story.
110 children died from the flu, and my daughter was one of them.
Amy Stearns talking about her 11-year-old daughter, Maddie. She passed away last winter as a result of complications from the flu. Stearns now dedicated to spreading awareness about this.
If I can save one family, one mother, one father, one brother from growing up without their child and their sibling, then I feel like I've done something.
Now, she is part of the group called Fight the Flu Foundation, and their mission, make sure everyone knows just how deadly the virus can be. Stearns says it is important to get the flu shot. Pay close attention to any signs of the flu virus. Get in touch with your doctor as soon as you have any concern.
Consumer alert you need to know about this morning. Check your fridge. If you've bought some sushi recently from your local Price Chopper, Market 32, could be part of a safety recall. Listen up. It affects AFC sushi rolls made with tuna, including the one you see right there, spicy tuna roll. Concerns it could be contaminated with listeria, which can cause serious symptoms and can lead to an infection that spreads to your nervous system if left unchecked. To date, affected sushi has been discovered at the Price Chopper Market 32 on Altamont Avenue in Rotterdam. If you have any of the AFC tuna rolls in your fridge, you can return them to the store where you bought them for a full refund. You'll find additional information on that recall and any updates coming your way through the news app on your phone. If you don't have it, get it for free at Google Play or the App Store.
New details about the congressman wounded in the ballpark shooting last June. The House Majority Whip, Steve Scalise, saying he will undergo surgery today as part of his recovery. He's been back in Congress in September, but sustained a lot of damage to his internal organs after that shooting. The gunman was shot and killed after firing at least 70 rounds at members of Congress practicing for a baseball game. Now, Congressman says he's made tremendous progress in his recovery. He intends to remain fully engaged in his work as he heals, but he gave no specific timeline for his return.
New this morning, the Green Mountain State could become the first in the country to make recreational marijuana legal by a vote in the legislature and not by a citizen referendum. Vermont would become the 9th state to pass recreational use of marijuana, but the other states' recreational use was approved by a voter referendum. The state Senate is expected to vote on it today. If it passes, it would legalize the possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana. 7:09 right now, 12 degrees outside. The CDC officially weighing in after that report saying that more pregnant women are using marijuana.
They caution that marijuana can lead to low birth weight and developmental problems. Doctors also cautious, saying there's just not enough research showing this is safe.
We don't know how marijuana affects pregnancy. We don't know how marijuana affects the growing fetus.
It's important to note here, using marijuana is against federal law. So even if you're drug tested in the hospital in a state where it's legal and it turns up positive, you risk having your child taken from you.
7:09 right now. Yesterday we had information for you on how to book your next trip. Thinking about that vacation, right? It's cold, you want to go somewhere warm. Well, of course, most of the time you got to take a plane to get there.
You do. The do's and don'ts you need to know about when it comes to in-flight etiquette before you board that plane. Really?
Why? Come on.
I got to be exposed to that song this morning.
She can sing.
Man.
Celine Dion, known for her grace, but how she reacted to an unruly fan surprised everybody. We're going to show you the interaction, more of it, in a moment.
That song kills me every time.
Oh, you're so sensitive.
I'm almost shedding a tear.
Oh my gosh.
Do you need my help?
I'm joking.
Thank you. Good.
Thank you. Good.
Couldn't tell he was kidding?
Yeah, I'm just crying every single time I hear that song. That's true.
I like that song.
Satellite and radar, high pressure right over us, mostly clear skies. But we have a big warm-up in store in the 7-day forecast. I'll have the full forecast after the break.
Now your forecast first, live from the Curtis Lumber Trex Weather Deck.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm outside here on the weather deck on this Wednesday morning where we have temperatures that are pretty chilly. They're into lower teens, some single digits. They're close to 0 in some areas. But the thing is, the wind is calm. It's not blustery at all this morning, and the temperatures will rise fairly significantly over the next 3 days. We want to see temperatures get up there to the near 50-degree mark. Let's go right now to the weather headlines, what to expect. Some light freezing rain possible tonight by around 7 o'clock through maybe around 11 p.m. We'll start to see the chance for some light freezing rain as the temperatures will probably be into the upper 20s and lower 30s, especially up towards the north. That's where we'll see the best chance to see some light freezing rain. And Thursday and Friday look mild, both days near 50, and then some widespread rain once we get towards Friday, and some of that could be heavy with some localized flooding with a lot of snow melt going on. Temperatures right now around 12 in Waterford, 11 Clifton Park, Scotia at 10. We're at 9 towards Wyanskill, 17 in Voorheesville, 6 in Grafton, 10 in Lanesboro, only 2 this morning in North Adams, 4 in Ballston Spa, Hageman at 8, Johnstown at 12, Only 1 this morning in North Creek. So it is cold, but the winds, as I said, are calm, so that's not an issue this morning. Here's a look at the 24-hour temperature change. We are 23 degrees colder at this time than this time yesterday. So we are a lot colder this morning all across the north and east, but we are going to improve those temperatures a good deal by the afternoon. Satellite and radar, high pressure pretty much right over us here. So this area of high pressure keeping us quiet. A weak disturbance moving on through tonight. That's what will give us the chance for maybe that freezing rain or some light rain showers. We have a cold front all the way up towards the upper Midwest, and that'll approach over the coming days, and then the best chance for rain will be on Friday. Here's a look at the futurecast this morning. Quiet, mostly sunny, and clouds increasing later on this afternoon. There's the freezing rain. This is at 10 p.m. north of Albany, around Glens Falls, probably has the best chance to see a light glaze of ice. And then through the day on Thursday, early in the morning, maybe a light rain shower. Otherwise, mostly cloudy Thursday, staying quiet. And then rain moves in for Friday. Friday morning looks to be rather wet through the afternoon. Right through Friday evening looks to be wet as well. We could see it end as a mix up north for early Saturday. Here's the forecast for today, 35. Clouds gradually increasing for tonight, 32. Overnight, the temperatures will slowly rise. Some light freezing rain and some rain showers around. Here's a look at the 7-day. 49 on Thursday, mostly cloudy. 50 on Friday. Widespread rain could be heavy at times. Watch out for flooding on Friday. Saturday, 44. Some morning rain, maybe some mix up north. And highs back in the 20s. Sunday through Tuesday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Gary. Well, check this out. An unruly fan jumped on stage while Celine Dion was performing. At one point, she even hugged Celine, and the security team wanted to step in. But watch what Celine Dion does next.
So they're going to help? No, we just want to help you out. Okay, okay, get out.
Are you going to hurt me?
I'm going to help you.
She just wanted a hug.
I'm going to help you.
She's being praised for reacting with compassion and love. Many saying, she is queen. Very trusting, too. Are you going to hurt me? No.
Yeah, a little, yeah. Wow.
Just wanted a hug.
Well, I give her a lot of credit for that.
Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the security was...
They were so nervous. Oh, I guess we're playing out the song now.
You're killing me.
I love that we're doing this right now. No, her reaction was fabulous, I think. You know, and someone else might have said, get away.
Yeah, a little bit.
You all right?
Did I get some AC/DC this morning?
You all right, Ryan?
All right.
If you have a story or a video you want us to see, I'm going to start singing. You can share with us our News 10 ABC app. Click on the Report It button at the bottom of the screen, and you can send it. And I cannot match that voice, so I will stay silent on that one.
She can sing.
She certainly can. All right, well, we've all heard stories of travel nightmares, especially involving planes.
That's right, and you probably remember this one. Yuck.
Yeah.
Bare feet coming through the seat from behind. This is on a JetBlue flight. This went viral last summer. An extreme example of lack of in-flight etiquette, but there are some more subtle do's and don'ts that we want to talk about. So
let's start with talking to your neighbor on the plane. Americans have the lowest tolerance for a chatty seatmate. 42% of U.S. travelers say it is unacceptable to share personal stories. Italians, by the way, they were chattier. 80% saying small talk was fine, no problem. I get that. By the way, the best way to get out of a conversation, apparently, is to say thank you politely and to put on your headphones. You have to handle this correctly.
Yeah.
It's not. Or you just start with them on, which is what a lot of people do.
Yeah,
so
just put them
that
on.
sends the message.
Although I have found that doesn't stop people sometimes.
Yeah.
Now onto a greater debate. You have to use the bathroom, right? But your seatmate is asleep. What do you do? 80% said it's okay to wake that sleeping passenger to get to the bathroom, of course. But 40% said you should do it just once. Now, let's say you choose to step over said sleeper. Most travelers say that too is acceptable, but split on whether you should slip by them facing them or with your butt
you
towards
turn
them,
your back to them.
Yeah.
These aren't easy, these issues.
No, you do the tap. If they don't wake up, then you pass
Usually
over.
just say, I'm so
Either
sorry.
way. I gotta go.
And you hope it doesn't happen more than once.
7:21 right now. Coming up, a story on News 10 that we've been dedicated to following. Empty propane tanks at some homes in the capital region. Now accusations of price gouging as well. Check in with Nicole at the Alert Desk for more on that.
This is the 3,000-year-old mummy of Ankefenmut. It's just one stop on a tour at a local museum and a way that you can keep up with it on your cell phone. I'll tell you more about it coming up.
All right, for today, the clouds will gradually increase. Otherwise, today will be dry and quiet. 35 for high. The wind will be a little bit breezy, but not bad. They were completely calm this morning. For tonight, some light freezing rain possible this evening by around 7 to 10 p.m. Temperatures will actually slowly rise through the overnight period. Lows around 32. By the time you wake up on Thursday, it should be mainly on the dry side. 49 for a high on Thursday, though. Mostly cloudy. Friday looks to be wet. Actually, very wet. We could see over 1.5 inches of rain, maybe even approaching 2 inches of rain during the day on Friday. It's going to be mild. Highs around 50. Lots of snow melt. We'll have some morning rain on Saturday. Maybe there's some mix, a wintry mix up north. And then highs back in the 20s starting on Sunday through Martin Luther King Day and also Tuesday. Right?
All right. Thank you, Greg. One of the oldest museums in the country getting a few updates. And it's right in our own backyard. News 10 ABC's Jimmy Marlowe live at the historic Albany Museum of Art and History with details. Jimmy.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So it's the second oldest museum in the country, making it the first oldest in New York State. Talking about the Albany Institute of History and Art and those renovations that Ryan was talking about. One of them is technological infrastructural upgrades, and this is what we're talking about right here. Before they added these, which is cell phone boosting signals, this building was impenetrable. So on these tours, you could not use your cell phone. You see, I have mine plugged up because you're going to need this along the way. So inside the building here, I'm actually upstairs in another room that is probably one of the most well-known, and this is a 3,000-year-old mummy right here. Now, one of the great things is there's so much information, I'm going to try to pronounce it. Ankefenmut is about 3,000 years old, and the number for this one is 110. Now, if you scan the QR code, it actually takes you on your phone to a video of the mummification process. So that, again, is the positive about coming to the Albany Institute of History and Art to take advantage, because now the tour is so much more innovative and is so much more targeted to each person. So to tell us a little bit more and to take a look at more mummies, we're going to talk to Mr. Michael Tucker. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Jimmy, and welcome to the Albany Institute.
Now, Mr. Tucker is the brand new chairman of the board. He was already on the board before, but what do you think this kind of interactive way to be on your phone and even take the museum home with you, what does that add to people coming to the museum?
Well, over the 225-year history of the Albany Institute, the Institute has continually evolved to improve and expand and make the audience experience a more enjoyable and more educational activity. Mm-hmm. And with this support and this ability to connect people to modern-day technology and to their phone, not only while they're on site, but after they go back home, will enable families to have a much more technological and modern-day experience here at the museum.
Gotcha. It is a museum. They have a lot of old things, but they're coming up with new ways to present those things to you, and you can take it home with you. It's like having the museum in the palm of your hand, the second oldest in the country. It's 125 Washington Avenue, the Albany Institute of History and Art. Continue to wake up with 10, and we'll be back with more. But for now, guys, back to you in the studio.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jimmy. 7:28 right now. Taking the new, the idea of the new year. New core exercising, literally. Check it out. Still ahead. We'll show you the workouts that can help give you the abs you've been dreaming about since last summer. First, though, a quick look outside here. 787 exit 9 at Route 7. Listening to Celine Dion as we look at traffic. I love my control room. We'll be right back after this.